Good evening, everyone. This is my midweek recording. So, starting off with the DXY, we can see here that we are still sort of trending to the upside. You can see we had this larger sort of continuation, looking for the short from here, the hook point, which is looking decent. But obviously, we didn't get that. Now we've kind of formed this sort of pullback, expanding structure, not the best. But the likelihood is for price to gravitate towards this high before we get those larger sells. For what was nice about this is that we did come back and fill this wick here, and then we started to slowly push to the upside. You can see on the day that we did get a little bit of momentum, and then you can see on the 4-hour that there are a couple of momentous candles in there. And then you can kind of see that it's a little bit more corrective, and now we're just kind of in that state of consolidation. So it's more so just I think letting this be at the moment and seeing if we do get an entry on euro dollar, potentially a little play back into there. But yeah, that's all I'm seeing at the moment. For this, I'm just seeing the longs. I wouldn't be forecasting the shorts at the moment. But yeah. JP225, I was looking for a trade on this today. What I liked about this is obviously we are at all-time highs. So I could see that we had the skipping double top there. We'd sold off quite nicely. And then we were trading kind of below this low, and I could see that we had this through-touch structure here. 1 hour, a little bit clearer. And then obviously we failed to form continuation, and we kind of just ended up creating this larger running channel to break it to the upside. But all it's done really is kind of create that V shape with the double tap. And then obviously it wasn't the best start to the sequence here, but it did start to look quite good in the afternoon. Because obviously we were trading well below these. We had this little hook point here, but this is still quite far away in comparison to this structure. So what I was looking for was just that third touch for the risk entry here, but we didn't get it. Price consolidated, and now it's just pushing higher, potentially to now move back into that hook point, in which I will look for either a structural play into it for a risk entry or just a push and flag. So yeah, that one I will leave till tomorrow, and we'll see how that's looking. Kajian, overall positioning is absolutely fantastic. We are sat on this weekly hook point, which sold off quite aggressively last time. And we had a really, really nice weekly candle last week. The problem is the sequence, and you can see it on the 4-hour there. It's just not the best with these wicks, and then obviously these sharper pullbacks. It's just not that. It's a bit messy at the moment. And I know you could say, oh, you know what, we've got this point here where you could look for push up, continuation down. But I still, given the fact that how messy this is, I wouldn't be looking to take this. I would be looking to take that sort of second continuation here, which will give you still, if you're going with a risk entry on the 15-minute, would still give you enough risk reward easily, 6 to 1 to the low to manage it. So I'll see how that reacts to that area. We'll see if we get any sort of aggressive turnarounds. The only time I will look to take the first flag is obviously if we do break that area, and then we'll kind of 50% of the way through the range. Then I'll look for a risk entry within that flag on the 15-minute, just because it's unlikely then to come back up. It's more likely because we've pushed to the 50%, 50% of the way through the range. It's more likely going to fill into that low, potentially break. So that's catching in. Euro Aussie is probably my favourite at the moment. It's just slowly trending to the downside to target that low. You can see that price is still trading below this low, which is key. And on the 4-hour, we can see that actually it's easier to see on the 1 hour, but you can kind of see this trend where you get this little scoop, sells off. Kind of get it again here. You get the little scoop, sells off, and then you get the larger version of it, scoop, sells off. Now all this has done really is move back into this area here with a sort of scoop. Yeah, it's broken above, but now we're kind of trading below, and it's looking very nice on the 15-minute. First touch on that wick isn't the greatest, which is why I will be mitigating it with a 3-touch. I won't be looking for this as a 2-touch or anything like that. I will be looking for something like that, where I can risk entry it. You could easily get it with a 10-pip stop. Probably not going to be able to manage it to the edge of the structure. Yeah, but you can manage it to that low, which is good. So yeah, this is one of my favorites for today. Yeah, and I like on the 4-hour, yeah, that solid 4-hour confirmation with the close as well. Yeah, we are pretty much trading below this little high now, so this is key. And like I mentioned, you can manage it to that low. Ideally, you know, it would have been nicer if we were trading below, but we're not. So yeah, that one's going to be high on watch. Euro yen, very similar to CAD yen, sorry. Again, positioning, fantastic. Weekly's retraced 50% of the previous candle, which isn't the best. 3 daily candles, quite bullish. Potentially just filling that wick. We'll have to wait and see. But again, I wouldn't really be looking for this short just yet, unless we were like trading 50% of the way there. Just because of how messy it has become. And I know you can say here that like, oh, we had the similar sort of thing with there and then we sold off. I just think you run the risk of this just getting a little bit messier still. So for me on this one, it's either going to be a second continuation or a continuation 50% of the way through the range of this structure, which would roughly be about there. So that is what I'll be looking for in Euro Yen, but I think we probably have other pairs that are better on watch. Dollar, Euro dollar. So obviously you can see that we traded into this low. We've started to pull back well past 50% of this now range, but obviously our target is down to these lows. As I mentioned, on the DXY does look like it's going to push to that upside. But on the other hand, you can also see that we do have this kind of descending channel. And obviously, if I just flip the charts, it does look nicer where we've got this 1, 2, 3 broken above. If I just drop down to the 1 hour, and this you could use potentially just a larger flag to move higher. But for now, I can see that price tapped into this area here. Again, not the greatest of sequences here. But when we jump down to the 15-minute, you can kind of see that we've tapped into this area here. So given that this is a little bit messy for me to trade, and we have hit tiny near misses, negligible, so I would really count that as being here. I would potentially not be looking at this one at the moment. I just think this is a little bit messy. It needs a little bit further development. And yeah, you can see on the 4-hour we've got quite a few wicks, and with that previous bit of price action here, I think this can kind of develop into anything. So I will leave this to see, you know, if price gives me that sign and we break out, and then I'll look for the continuation down here to play the short. I think that just is the easiest option there. Yeah. Moving on to Pound Aussie. Pound Aussie was looking quite decent. It's just getting a little bit messy. You can see here our main targets down here. We're trading well below all this volume here. we're trading below this low. We don't need to come back to this little continuation point here because it's still quite far away. But obviously we can do this into like a flag or something like this. It's just, yeah, it's a bit messy. It's not something that I want to be looking at over the next few days. Again, ideally maybe we do pull back into that point. That would be a nicer area to trade. I just think given what else is on watch, this isn't one that I'm going to be looking at. Pound dollar, again, we've got our targets down to these lows, and we can see we had this kind of like 3 touch here, broke that high, sold off, formed that like first larger continuation here, sold off, and then we got the hook point here. Price did break above that hook, and I guess you can kind of see that you've got like this, not so much like a 1, 2, 3. It's not the best. Not sure I would really count that as a first touch. And obviously we are tapping into these sort of low areas here now. I guess you could say that we had this 1, 2, 3, but definitely with this sort of price action before, it's definitely something you want to avoid now. So if I was looking at pound dollar now, I would be looking for price to kind of pull back into that area, given the fact that it's now getting quite close to it, and see if we get there with some sort of form of structure. Something like that would be ideal. The ideal choice in this scenario. Aussie dollar. Again, this one is looking decent. It's one of my nicer pairs that I've got on watch. You can just see that price tapped into that double top, very big scoop. We are getting a little bit of momentum on the 4-hour. We can see that, and now I just kind of see this as being a sort of early structure now. Kind of got this back. See if we retest the back end of that. So I'll be looking for price to kind of create a sort of middle section. If we get something like that, and then we push up, maybe a little break above, and you can see that you've got a 1, 2, 3, kind of tapping into this sort of area, but retesting the back end of that would be nice as well. And you're easily going to get in with the 10 pip stop, which does protect that little hook point as well. And obviously you got almost 3 to 1 to the low, so that's looking decent. I do like the look of that. Pound Swiss, I'm not really going to be looking at Pound Swiss at the moment. It's just kind of getting a bit messy. I brought this on watch because obviously we kind of tagged into this area about a couple of weeks ago, and we've just created that V-shaped scoop. Broke above, impulsively pushed back to the downside. I was looking for essentially, now that we were trading all this, I was looking for a position right here, but obviously we didn't get it, and now we've just gone way too messy, so not for me. Same for pound Kiwi as well. Was looking very good. Was looking to see if we were going to get strong momentum push up there, because obviously we've had this high, broke the high, sold off, broke the high, sold off. So it was like a more neutral position where I was either waiting for very obvious continuation on the 1 hour with 3 touches, a sign from the market looking for the short. Either that, or we get a little bit of momentum from the market and we get that push up flag. But obviously we didn't get neither. So now I'll just leave this and let it develop slowly. Dollar CAD was looking decent the other day for the long. So obviously we've had the main high, we kind of near missed it, and then we near missed that high as well. So the likelihood of this filling is quite high, and then you can kind of see that we had this sort of descending channel. We had really nice momentum at the end of last week on the 4 hour, and I was looking for this to form into something, but it never did. And then I was looking for this to form into something, but it never did. And now it kind of just looks like it's creating a much larger structure, where if we get something like that, and you get a push and flag within it, you can definitely be looking for a position there. You can see your free touches as long as it's got enough depth in that middle section. I think that's a very valid position to take, especially with the size and where it is. You could easily get in with a 10 pip stop. You got 3 to 1 to the high there, almost 5 there, and obviously filling those gaps. You have plenty of room. But yeah, more likely going to be towards the end of the week if we do get that. And then Dolly M, which I think is an interesting one because I was looking at the weekly, and obviously we're retracing that previously bearish weekly candle quite aggressively now. We've got those 3 daily candles kind of almost completely wiping out, like these 2 bearish ones. And on the 4 hour though, you can see that it is quite corrective. It's just a lot of small candles that are doing it. And then on the 15-minute, sorry, on the 1 hour, we don't really have a proper point of reference yet. On the 15-minute, you could argue that you've got this, but I think we've probably potentially moved a little bit too far away now. So if I went back to the 1 hour, you could potentially say that you've got this, where if we got something like that, we push up, come back down. If we get something along the lines of that, then I definitely wouldn't be against taking that position, because you could get in with a 20 pip start. You can probably manage it just about to the edge of the structure at like 1.6. You got that little hook point there to worry about, but by the time that's 4%. And remembering we did near miss the weekly high, and obviously another, that's a 25% move, so it's pretty crazy. If we do get something like that, then I will entertain it, because you can see the momentum's there. We haven't really had a proper flag yet, so but yeah, that could take a couple of days. A couple of days to form. I think maybe more like a Friday trade. But for now, Euro Aussie is the favourite. We'll see how this forms. Potentially, we could get an entry just after swaps. So it could be a late one tonight. So, yeah, and that's it. Thank you very much.